Good morning, everybody, and welcome to your Monday. Sure hope you had a nice weekend. I'm Eric Connert.
I'm Stella Escobedo. Thank you so much for getting up with us. Let's go ahead and check in with Netta now. So we've got those breezy conditions in store.
I was going to say, that snoise sounds good right now. I know it's a little early for some sweets, but hey, it'll start off a Monday, at least in a happy way. We're looking at some cool conditions, and yeah, the wind's picking up. Here's our east-facing camera where you see it's nice and clear east of the mountains. That's actually where the gusts are starting to get a little stronger already. Now, our west-facing camera, we're waiting for that daylight. Our sunrise now, 6:50, so we got to wait a little bit longer. It's going to be a windy day. These are your weather headlines. Inland 25 to 35 mile per hour wind gusts. Mountains up to 60, 10 to 15 degrees cooler than average for today and tomorrow. So that chill's going to last today and tomorrow. And then high surf as well. We do have a big northwest swell with up to 7 footers at our beaches. A quick check of traffic here. And so far throughout North County, things are nice and smooth. Escondido, Del Mar, Oceanside, no problems there. But we are noticing this just showed up. The right-hand shoulder is blocked and the slow lane is blocked. This is on the 15th southbound right at Market Street. So you can already see a little bit of slowing happening. And then also taking you a little bit further north right at the 805 going through University City. Does not appear to be an actual incident there, but just some heavy traffic for some reason at this hour. So I'll send it back to you now.
Netta, thank you. Right now, our other top story this morning, thousands of passengers are stranded nationwide because of cancellations impacting Southwest Airlines.
It includes flights departing and arriving here in town. News 8's Ronnie is live at San Diego International Airport now with the latest here. And then there's some finger pointing going on over what's to blame here, Evan.
Yeah, exactly. 1,900, nearly 2,000 flights in total canceled by Southwest Airlines, about 28% of their scheduled flights for Sunday. And still into this morning, there are more cancellations and delays that we've noted on the board here out of San Diego and into San Diego. Now a lot of people having to reroute their plans, come up with alternatives, all as Southwest does some finger pointing and the FAA points back.
The next flight that we could take would be on Tuesday, so we would have missed coming here to see the soccer game. So we got a Greyhound bus and we rode the bus. It was an 8-hour ride from Chicago to here.
And again, he's referring to then his layover that was from Kentucky back to San Diego, or into San Diego, I should say. So they ended up taking that bus as their alternative plan. Now, in terms of the cancellations that were made, again, about 28% of scheduled flights on Sunday out of Southwest terminals were canceled. According to Southwest, they say the reason why this happened was, quote, issues related to air traffic control and weather. But others say that that may not exactly be the case. According to the FAA, they say no FAA air traffic staffing shortages have been reported since Friday. They went on to say some airlines continue to experience scheduling challenges due to aircraft and crews being out of place. Now, Southwest says they're working with individually affected customers and employees to come up with a solution. But again, as of this morning, there are still cancellations and delays to note and a lot of finger pointing going around. The FAA saying that air traffic control shortages are not exactly an issue that they've been dealing with, and they say the issue comes down to Southwest staffing and Southwest aircraft. So we will likely hear more of this moving forward. But again, for now, if you are traveling into or out of San Diego, keep in mind you are going to probably have to plan for the possibility of a cancellation or delay. Although most of those flights are on time, there are a handful that are still canceled or delayed. I'll send things back to you, Stella and Eric.
Evan, thank you. This morning we could learn the results of a vote to authorize a possible strike at Kaiser Permanente.
And it would impact tens of thousands of healthcare workers around Southern California. News 8's Chris Groves joining us live outside Kaiser Permanente Hospital in Kearney Mesa with a closer look at this story. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, and according to leadership, all signs are pointing now that this strike will be approved. Of course, we're going to wait for those official results, but again, we are talking about potentially as many as 31,000 healthcare workers on strike. We're talking nurses to pharmacists, again, likely going to have a major impact on Kaiser Permanente. Now, where we get that 31,000, let's break it down here. 24,000 from the main unions that we're talking about here. The United Nurses Association of California and United Healthcare Professionals Union. That union, again, fighting for better wages. But an additional 7,000 healthcare workers from the United Steelworkers Union could strike in solidarity as well, too. The results for both of those strikes are supposed to be finalized today. Now, the negotiations have been tense over wages. The union is asking for a 4% wage increase for all of its members over the next 3 years. But Kaiser offered a 1% wage increase with a 1% bonus for each year. New hires in 2023 would be offered a reduced wage, and that's really been a sticking point with these unions. However, Kaiser released a statement in September during these negotiations saying in part, quote, "We ask union leaders to continue to work constructively toward an agreement rather than call on nurses and other employees to walk away from patients who need them during this pandemic."
Currently, nurses push themselves to the limits, and we do to care for our patients, but we need better staffing so that we have more time to invest in their healing. We need more nurses and more staffing to help them heal.
Yeah, and as you hear there, it's not just wages, also staffing. Nurses saying that they are overworked, especially during this pandemic. Now, to read more about what the union and as well as Kaiser Permanente, more on what they have to say about these negotiations as well as the potential for this strike, just go to our website, cbs8.com. Click on that story link. Eric and Stella.
Chris, thank you for that. And new this morning, Merck has applied for emergency use authorization for its COVID pill. They just submitted their application to the FDA. If approved, this would be the first pill to treat coronavirus. The drug maker recently said its experimental pill cut hospitalizations and deaths by half. This morning, assessment teams are monitoring San Diego beaches for signs of oil after last week's oil spill in Orange County. Tar balls have washed up here, but there are no reported cases of harm to wildlife in San Diego so far. Meantime, today, California's Attorney General Rob Bonta and State Senator Alex Padilla will be in Orange County to get an update on the response to the oil spill. City and state beaches in Huntington Beach are also expected to reopen today. The move comes after officials say testing shows there are no detectable amounts of oil toxins in the ocean. Now to the very latest developments in a deadly mass shooting at a bar in St. Paul, Minnesota. This morning, at least 3 men are in custody. A mother has died. She's been identified as 27-year-old Markeisha Wiley, a beloved animal care worker. 14 other people were hurt. It happened early Sunday morning. Police say everyone injured is expected to survive. They're still investigating what led up to this shooting.
Today is Indigenous Peoples Day. National city leaders will hold a Kumeyaay flag-raising ceremony this morning. Tribal members will also discuss their history and culture during a celebration at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park in Escondido later today. This comes just days after President Biden became the first president to mark Indigenous Peoples Day with a presidential proclamation. It is the latest in a long line of efforts to refocus the federal holiday celebrating Christopher Columbus toward an appreciation of Native peoples. Well, today, Mountain Empire Unified will be not holding classes. The district says they're concerned about high winds that could pose a safety issue for school buses. Mountain Empire Unified expects, though, to resume classes tomorrow. And today, PG&E will cut power to 25,000 customers in 20 counties, stretching from Bakersfield to Redding because of wildfire conditions. They're concerned that those gusty offshore winds, combined with low humidity and bone-dry vegetation, could cause fires that spark to spread quickly. Here at home, SDG&E does not have any planned public safety power shutoffs so far. So the wind, a big issue here today.
Yeah, Ned, I know you're tracking those winds. So how is it looking?
Yeah, right now it's not too bad. Starting to notice it pick up in our mountains a little bit, but by this afternoon, especially 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, we'll notice higher wind speeds, 60 miles per hour. That's what we're expecting across our mountains. Right now, also high surf. So all of this has to do with this area of low pressure, this trough that's diving down from Nevada, and it's bringing in those clouds in some areas, but also big waves, high wind gusts, and cooler temperatures. So that all is happening because of that area of low pressure. Right now, as you look to the east, you don't notice obviously much cloud coverage, but some areas west of our mountains, there's a little bit of low-lying clouds that are just swirling around. Looking at our wind speeds at this moment, 8 to 10 miles per hour for Alpine and Campo. Booker Hill, 16. You're up to about 26 like 30 minutes ago. So it's not too wild yet, but let's take you through the hourly wind forecast model. So wherever you see the reds and purple purples, that obviously means higher wind gusts, 50 to 60 miles per hour. That's in this purple range. So the east side of our mountains. But you'll also notice 20 to 30 mile per hour winds from the coast to inland valleys. So a lot of times this does bring down, leaves and tree branches, things like that. So, you may want to work on some of that clearing. But for the next, I would say, few hours, we're okay. And then after noon, that's when it'll get a little gustier. And that's going to last through the night into early tomorrow morning. And then that should let up. So that's why we have a high wind warning that starts at 11 a.m. in the mountains, and then wind advisory at 1 p.m. for inland valleys to the coast. It'll all expire at 3 o'clock tomorrow morning. So this is really a today kind of event. Also, that high surf, we showed you the camera shot in Cardiff. I know it's still dark. You can't quite see the big waves, but a lot of folks who live along the beaches can hear the loud waves. Yeah, it's pretty loud out there. So from noon to about 8 o'clock tomorrow, that's when our surf could be as high as 4 to 7 foot waves. That's what we're noticing for today. Now, take a look at what's going on across our state. Freeze warnings to the north, fire weather warnings through central California, leading to high wind warnings, wind advisories, gale warnings all throughout southern California. And again, it's all because of this trough that we're noticing that is up north. So I just want to show you that real quick. It's still, several miles away from us, and it's not really going to dive right down into San Diego. It's going to be just to the east, but it certainly will have its fair share of impacts, if you will, today and tomorrow especially. So here's a quick check of what's going on with our traffic this morning. And for now, a lot of our North County, East County, you're doing fine. Everything appears to be in the green. So if you're going through Oceanside, Fallbrook, Escondido, Del Mar, Santee, all is well. Now, this one spot right in the middle of San Diego on the 15, the slow lane is blocked. CHP reporting a vehicle swerved and had a little spin out right there on the freeway. So that's the 15 southbound side at Market Street. So already, usually that's a busy part of town, not usually at this hour, but we're seeing some slowing going on because of it. And I'll send it back to you now.